You know, the one thing that I could say about the Underworld series that makes me really happy, and this new 4th edition more so than any of them, it's so nice to be reminded every once in a while that vampires don't have to be little whiny pussies.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I was about to say what that you can say about them now is that 3 of them kind of suck, and this one's fucking badass.
I see. I'm a fan of all 4, but I've always felt they got better with each one. This one blows away the ones before because, you know, like the one thing Leon was complaining about, I just thought the others were a little bit dull. There was too much in-between time with a plot that's kind of dumb. Okay, fair enough. This one, there is no in-between time.
No, they don't give you, there's no time for the in-between time at all. But you know what? I have to say, I was definitely one of those in Leon's camp where every time I saw one of these, it either put me to sleep, and after somebody woke me up, I was pissed off because I paid good money to sleep in a big fucking theater, and that doesn't make any sense to me. But with this one, holy fucking shit. The intensity on this one is like, it'll blow your fucking ass away how intense and insane it is from the moment it fucking starts to the moment it ends.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, they actually listened to me. Somebody actually listened. Len Wiseman listened to every one of my reviews about this series, if they're out there, and he paid attention, and he made not that he didn't make it.
Yeah.
2 other guys made a film that I actually wanted to see.
Because Len Wiseman, who has directed and written all the previous entries in this, actually stepped back to just the producing and co-writing chair.
Thank
these
God.
2, I don't know, they Swedish Måns Marland and Bjorn Stein.
Yeah, I just saw 2 guys' names. It might as well have been Marvin and Harold. I mean, yeah.
But this was, like I said, as much as I'm a fan of the other films, and I am, it's a guilty pleasure, I admit it, but it's a pleasure for me nonetheless. This is the right move, Len. You should let these guys make these films, because when this film starts, there's about 40 seconds of montage flashback just so you can explain the story up until now, which, yes, this is the kind of film that does have a actual story going to it. And then it goes, boom, let's go.
Oh, yeah, immediately. And it's badass. I mean, we can get into the whole plot of it. I mean, in this world, they made one too many Twilight movies, and the human race just gets so sick of it that
we got to kill them all.
It starts the Twilight Wars.
We're not on Team Edward. We're not on Team Jacob. We're on Team kill every single one of these.
Annihilation. That's Project Annihilation. And the humans go after every single goddamn vampire and werewolf on the planet Earth.
And when we see where the film starts with is Kate Beckinsale, who of course plays Celine, the badass death dealer who's a day walker as well.
Oh fuck yeah!
We see a scene it's a flashback to a film in a film we didn't see, where basically the humans have discovered that vampires and werewolves are real, and so they're hunting them down, and it's war on all fronts. And she's trying to get on a boat with Michael, if you remember, who was played by Scott Speedman in the previous films, who's a half human, half werewolf hybrid, and they both get knocked out. And the next thing you know, it's 12 years later, and Celine is coming out of a sort of cryogenic freeze, and that someone
she
is
explodes out of it.
Yeah, well, that's what she's Celine. She doesn't do anything like by half.
Yeah.
And she, in the middle of this big institute building that seems to be run by a scientist played by Stephen Bree. I was like, really? You're in this film?
Yeah, I know. I was like scratching my head too. I was like, hey, might as well.
and Wes Bentley, who's there for 20 seconds, just long enough to go, I swear I'm still alive. But then it turns out like she's got this daughter that it's not clear exactly how she was even pregnant or anything like that.
No, it seemed like they were like taking some storylines from like a Superboy comic where it was like you assume this girl who also is a hybrid was created, but then as the story goes on, you're led to believe that it's actually the daughter of Selena.
Yeah, and presumably Michael.
And Michael.
Yeah.
How they lead up to that, I have no idea, only because there were so many goddamn explosions and fight scenes.
The movie just looks at you with a straight face and goes, look, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, look up.
Yeah.
Kablooey!
Try not to think about it. Here's like 80 guys getting their heads cut off in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, what did you ask? I don't remember.
Yeah, can you speak up? Because there's like a billion bullets flying by my head and explosions to the left and the right of me.
No, it's like all the action scenes in The Matrix, except without the irritating slow motion and with werewolves and vampires.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy people running up and down the walls and superpowers and fucking shit, people tearing each other's heads off and just everything you would want to see from like this type of two super powered races and a horror oriented thing. They do.
The Matrix's ass would have been ripped off due to the G forces that, you know, this movie right now, this movie here that's going to be in theaters, or it's already in theaters, is doing, because wow, I was like, we saw this at a IMAX. And
which
it's one of those,
the way to see it.
It's one of those converted, like, because you said Limaxes, where it's like your typical theater, except they just throw in the biggest fucking screen they can in the room and see if it can fit. And the sound on this movie, I swear to God, I mean, the sound, a shockwave of sound was going through my head and out my asshole, and I became a living subwoofer.
No shit, right?
Yeah, I know. Now it's like, oh my God, I wasn't built for this.
They know, even when those brief moments when there's no killing going on, the movie even won't let it go. The movie's like, boom, boom. Like the soundtrack is like, nope, get ready. Shit's right around the corner. And for a lesser film, it wouldn't be. It'd just be like, all right, you're irritating me now. But no, they're not kidding. There really is. There's a werewolf that's like the size of like 3 people, which is like right there. You're like, all right, dude, this is a big fucking werewolf. That's cool. I hit you. It's got this new little girl who's also got crazy fucking powers of her own. And she looks like an even creepier version of Samara from The Ring. But,
I don't know what they did, but the special, I have to, like, you know, if I had a hat, I'd tip it off to these guys for making this little girl look so intensely fucking evil. As far as like a hybrid, where I'm like, wow, you know what? Michael looks like a goddamn pussy compared to this girl. This girl brought, her balls are bigger than that fucking dude's, and the intensity on her face when she attacks is like, oh fuck, you know.
One of the things I've loved about this series with the most in this film, because they really bring it front and center, is the fact that, like, okay, these guys are in fact these heroes of the film. They're fucking vampires, which means they don't really have any sanctity to life thoughts at all.
No,
you know, and so they just kill at will. These humans go, hey, what's going on? Snap! You'd be like, it don't matter. We're vampires. Fuck you. You're meat.
And they're exactly what they're exactly who they should be, especially in a movie like this, where I was like, wow, this is how I wanted the first movie to be. I wanted the first movie to literally punch me in the goddamn balls and send me into the stratosphere, because when you have a movie dealing with vampires and werewolves and there's a battle going on between the both of them, this movie right here is exactly what I expected out of the first one and the second one. I kind of give the third one a little credit for giving it, for at least trying. But wow, this one movie here blows them the fuck away. And not only it blows them away, once again, I will say, during these battle scenes, the sound. Somebody needs to win an award for the sound on this movie, because wow, I mean the Maxwell guy, you know, the guy who sits in that fucking chair getting his hair blown while he's wearing the sunglasses. That motherfucker exploded and died tonight.
He did. He blew up like everything else blew up in this movie.
Because there are scenes in here that where you not only do you get, you know, the creepy ass cool ass hybrid chick, but you also get this hulked out werewolf. And when that dude is on screen and he's fighting Selena, wow. I'm talking about, like, these are fights that you'd normally expect Superman and Zod to get in, where they're throwing vehicles at each other. There's a scene where Selena, like, sideswipes a goddamn moving van and flips that motherfucker over, where you're like, whoa.
And it's like I said, it's hard to pick out just a few things like that, because it just never stops doing shit like that. One thing I really liked here is some of the visual tricks they did to take advantage of the IMAX and 3D in ways that I hadn't seen before. Like, all right, one of the things they use against werewolves are these silver nitrate bombs that go off and they spread like silver dust in the air. And there's this whole sequence as they're running through this darkened skyscraper, and she keeps using them, where there's just little traces of sparkly silver flying through the air everywhere. And in IMAX and 3D, that shit was fucking cool.
Oh, fuck yeah, it was. I'm like, wow. Twilight could have taken some notes. If you're gonna lose glitter, use it like these fucking guys did. All right. Don't drown one of your lead characters in
explosive glitter. Good. Just glitter on handsome pretty boy guys.
Glitter coming out of a guy's dick, I don't care about. But but the thing is that it looks beautiful. The cinematography looks amazing, and you know, it holds true. You know, you're right. We were talking about how, you know, the one thing you can say about this series, despite how much I don't don't really care for it sometimes, is that the continuity of the story, and that they really are like, somebody really gives a shit about this story, and they're making sure that the continuity works, and along with that, the visuals, the look of all these movies, where you can watch them all in a row, and they all look like they were made by the same director and cinematographer. But with this one, you get worried about the 3D because you're like, oh god, it's in 3D, it's going to look murky. No, this one looked crystal fucking clear.
Yeah, especially in IMAX, which usually is the way to see it, because they always use the brighter bulbs there.
Mm-hmm.
So as opposed to a lot of regular theaters 3D, they're like, fuck it, we're just going to use the regular
Oh,
bulb.
thank God they did.
Looks like shit. But no, I mean, you're right. It's it is continuous, which people who are fans of the previous series, once again, they're always like, hey, you may not have liked that story, but we did. We made those movies, and we're not going to betray anything we did before. We're going to keep going, and we're not going to do anything to irritate the fans. And like I said, I think if anything, the not only are the previous fans of the film going to be super thrilled by this movie, but it's going to create new fans like you
right here. Yeah, hell yeah. And the thing is, I really hope that they get this team back again. Whoever wrote this movie, directed it. Across the board, everyone who worked on this film needs to get some major goddamn props for, it is correctly titled Awakening, because it awoke my ass to realize how badass this film series could possibly be.
Trying to fall asleep during this movie?
No, I know. No.
You'd have to be stone deaf.
If there's someone who looks like they're fucking asleep, they're dead. I mean, they are fucking dead.
They are dead. Not undead either.
Yeah, because they just shit it out every living organism in their goddamn body because the sound
would just no doubt it would all send every single biological organism inside of you running for cover.
And can I say that because it's such a really good story and just a visual like spectacle, that this is the first movie where I really looked at Kate Beckinsale and said, fuck baby, are you fucking hot? I mean,
really, the first one, I would think of anything you got from the previous three, it's to say, or at least 1 and 2.
One and 2,
not in 3.
And you know what?
Say, God damn, she looks good in vinyl and leather.
And I wanted to, like, whenever I saw those trailers, I was like, yeah. But when I sat down and watched those movies, the beauty of her was bored away. I mean, because I was just like, wow, I just don't give a shit.
I gotta say, the reason
you better get naked quick because I'm about to check the fuck out.
The reason I like those films because they are, despite the fact they tried to deny it, they're based on White Wolf's World of Darkness. I mean, they got sued over it and lost. And it's like
you're speaking Greek to me right now.
It's a really popular role playing system with vampires and werewolves that was sort of supplanted the traditional point. Dungeon crawling form of old RPGs, right? Where it's like was more character based. Let's tell a story. I really liked those series. I thought they were a lot of fun. And this is like the first thing that really kind of brought that into it. And so I'm watching the story, and you're right. There's a lot more story than action, especially in the first two. I was like, okay, I like where you're going with this. Really boring, obviously, for people who don't care. Like I said, at this point, got the story, know all that stuff. This one, there is some more story. It does develop more, but it just doesn't waste much time with it. It's like, you didn't come here to see that. That's what that 40 seconds in the beginning was for, to explain that's the story. Now here's a bunch of people blowing up and people disemboweling. I mean, there's like sequences where people go inside people, like just put their hands inside other people's chests and rip all the shit out. Like, I mean, just
which you're like, all right, badass, finally.
And I love. All right, so sometimes in these movies they've been bad about showing, hey, shouldn't they be feeding at some point? And there's a point early on I was going, what's the deal? Is she gonna? She's been frozen. Shouldn't she feed? And when she does, it's just so callous and so. You know what? Fuck you, meat.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
She treats her meat like I treat my women. Shut up.
So yeah, this is it was a big surprise even to me as a fan of these things. And you know what? Who co-wrote this was J. Michael Straczynski of all people. And
I was like, you know what? Good.
Obviously,
I don't know how much of his stuff was in the script. I'm sure somebody was like, trim the fat. All right, sharpen your teeth and trim the fat for once.
Well,
and,
we've already got the story pretty built. Now let's just have a great time. And they're at the point that they can do that now. The mythology is pretty set. They can add little bits here and there that advance it without having to go back over notes. You know?
Yeah. And the great thing is at the beginning of the movie, there is like a brief...
Yeah, the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, Cliff Notes. Underworld for Dummies, which
Everything
is me.
you need to know.
Yeah, because I just don't give a shit and I haven't paid attention.
Yeah,
so yeah, when you get all that information, it's all you need.
I don't even know what else there is to say about this except that
That's bad fucking ass.
it kicks ass. It's a lot of fun. The story is just as dumb as the other ones are in a lot of ways. I mean, like I said, I enjoy it, but it is dumb. You know, and if you can get past that and just enjoy a flat out vampires, werewolves, and humans carving each other up nonstop for 88 minutes, I believe it is, then you're going to give this a full price because that's what I give it.
Yeah, 88 minutes with no goddamn downtime. And yet, you know what? And I'm going to say it right now. This movie is better than... It's full price.
I'm looking at you going, are you really? Is he going to go there?
No.
Is he going to take it there?
The only way I take it there is if Blade showed up at the very end of the final climax battle with all the goddamn hybrids and just go, some motherfuckers are always trying to I skate uphill.
Dude, if they bring Blade into this series, that's it. I'm just moving in with Kate Beckinsale and Len Wiseman. I am your personal servant now.
No, but this is a complete just full fucking price. Yeah.
It does not suck.
No.